Pleasant day, everyone. My name is Ronan Diola from 11th STEM Franklin of Malinta National High School, and I'm hereby to discuss the topic, the types of chemical reaction. And we are aimed to learn that you should be able to understand and identify the different types of chemical reaction. Be able to distinguish the type of chemical reaction from a given set of elements or compounds. Be able to identify the different kinds of decomposition reactions, and last, be able to identify the types of double displacement in a chemical reaction. Moving on to number 1, combination. Combination reaction is a reaction where two or more elements or compounds is combined to form a more complex compounds. So, to the word itself, combination, to the root word combine, we are combining compounds or elements. It is also called a synthesis reaction, where its general form is A plus B will yield to become AB. And the examples of it is Na or sodium plus chloride gas rather, is yield to become NaCl, or also known as sodium chloride or table salt. Another one is magnesium oxide plus carbon dioxide is yield to become magnesium carbonate, because the two elements or the two compounds are combined together. So the next one, decomposition. A decomposition reaction occurs when one reactant breaks down into two or more products or compounds. It is the total vice versa of the chemical reaction combination, because its general form is AB is yield to become A plus B. It breaks them apart. It separates them because we are decomposing. So how can we decompose such chemical reactions? So there are various types of decomposition, and here it is. Types of decomposition reaction. Number 1, thermal decomposition reaction. A chemical reaction where a single substance breaks into two or more simple substances when heated. Take note of the word heated, because you can able to identify the types of decomposition reaction if you hear the word heated, because it's thermal. Thermal is a lot more comparison into heated. So number 2, electrolytic decomposition reaction, or also called electrolysis. It is the results when electric current passes through a liquid substance solution if a compound. To the word itself, electrolytic, and to the root word electro, means electric or lightning. Moving on to the third one, photodecomposition reaction, where it is also called photolysis. A chemical reaction in which a chemical compound is broken down by photons. What is photons? Photons came from the Greek word photo, means light. Photons are the light or the tiny particles in our surroundings that travels in the speed of light that comprises waves, electromagnetic waves. So that's right. Moving on to the examples. Number 1, magnesium carbonate is yield to become magnesium oxide plus carbon dioxide, where it is decomposed by thermal reaction. It means it is being heated, because when you heat magnesium carbonate, it tends to break and to form into a two single compounds. Yeah. So next one is hydrogen dioxide, or also known as water, is yield to become hydrogen gas plus oxygen gas, and it is decomposed by electrolytic reaction. Number 3 is hydrogen peroxide is yield to become hydrogen dioxide plus oxygen gas, because hydrogen peroxide is when light hit it is tend to break and separate some substance. So it is decomposed by photolysis. Sorry for the stutter. Moving on. Single replacement, also known as single replacement reaction or exchange reaction. It is a chemical reaction which one element is replacing another element in a compound. A metal displaced by another metal in a solution, or a non-metal to a non-metal. And some cases, metal can replace another non-metal, but that is a rare case or rare examples. And it is represented by A plus BC is yield to become AC plus B, or A plus BC is yield to become BA plus C. So moving on with the examples. Zinc plus copper 2 chloride is yield to become zinc chloride plus copper. As you can see, zinc replaced copper in the compound copper 2 chloride. So we had a single replacement. So moving on, bromine plus sodium iodide is yield to become sodium bromide plus iodine. So in here, we separate the sodium iodide and replace iodine into bromine. So we had a non-metal to non-metal become a replacement. Number 3, iron plus hydrogen chloride is yield to become ferrous chloride plus hydrogen gas. So as you can see in this situation, iron replaced hydrogen in the chemical compound. So it is an exception because hydrogen is a non-metal and can be identified as solid and gas. So it is an exception. So moving on, you can view these two examples later. Moving on to the next slide. Number 4, double displacement. Double displacement is a type of chemical reaction that occurs when two reactants exchange cations or anions to yield two new products. It is also called double replacement reaction or metathesis reaction. And has the general formula of A should be cation and B should be an ion, plus C should be cation and D should be an ion, is yield to become AD plus CB. We have the types of double replacement reactions. And number 1, neutralization reaction. It is an acid-base reaction which yields a solution with a neutral pH. So what is pH? pH is the potential of hydrogen, a scale that is tend to measure the acidity or the basicity of an aqueous solution. So yeah, it is that. So number 2, precipitation reaction. It is when two compounds react for a solid product called precipitate. So when you are having double replacement and you tend to have a compound that is solid, we call that precipitation reaction. You can see it in the examples later. So number 3, gas formation. Gas formation is one which yields the gas as a product. So precipitation and gas formation has a lot in common, where if you receive a solid compound, it is a precipitation, and when it gas compound, it is a gas formation. So here are the examples. Silver nitrate plus sodium chloride is yield to become silver chloride plus sodium nitrate. So in this equation, we saw that we had a double replacement of cations and anions, where AgCl or silver chloride is a solid. So we call it precipitation reaction. That's right. So moving on, hydrogen chloride plus sodium hydroxide is yield to become hydrogen dioxide plus sodium chloride. So in this equation, we had the hydrogen chloride as an acid and sodium hydroxide as a base. So what do we call that solution? That is right. It's neutralization reaction. And the last one, sodium sul- sodium sulfide plus hydrogen chloride is used to become sodium chloride plus hydrogen sulfide. So in this equation, hydrogen sulfide is a gas. So we produced a gas solution. So we have a reaction of gas formation. That is right. You are learning. So next, let us have a quick recall. Number one, there are 4 types of chemical reaction: the combination, decomposition, single displacement, and double replacement. Number 2, there are 3 ways to decompose a chemical reaction: thermal, electrolysis, and the photo-decomposition reaction. And number 3, decomposition is the total vice versa of the chemical reaction, combination. That is right. We have reached the end of our topic. So let us have a quick activity where you should identify the types of the following chemical reaction. Number 1, calcium hydroxide is yielded to become calcium oxide plus hydrogen dioxide. And it is being heated. So what type of chemical reaction is this? If you answered decomposition, you are correct. But what type of decomposition is this? And that is right. It is thermal decomposition reaction. So number 2, zinc plus nickel 2 chloride is yielded to become zinc chloride plus nickel. So we had a single replacement reaction. That is good. Number 3, barium oxide plus carbon dioxide is yielded to become barium carbonate. And we had combination. That's great. Number 4, lead 2 nitrate plus sodium chloride is yielded to become lead 2 chloride plus sodium nitrate. And we have, that is right, we have a double displacement reaction. So number 5, chlorine gas plus sodium bromide rather, is yielded to become sodium chloride plus bromine. What is the type of chemical reaction? We have single displacement reaction. That is good. So we have reached the end of our discussion. I hope you have fun and able to learn something despite of my stuttering in English language. And yeah, once again, my name is Ronan Diola from 11th STEM Franklin of Malinta National High School. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.